Hare Krishna. Question: why did Yudhishthira, despite being such a virtuous king, gamble? Answer: the Mahabharata doesn't present utopian characters. It presents characters in their human features. So Yudhishthira Maharaj, he is virtuous in terms of honoring his word. He is virtuous in terms of following dharma. And one aspect of a Kshatriya code of conduct is that when Kshatriyas are challenged to anything, they are not allowed to refuse. So now here, after Maharaj Yudhishthir had been coronated as the emperor through Rajasuya Yagya, then after that he was told at that time by Vyasadev that soon there will be a war fought, soon there will be great kalaha, great conflict, and there will be a war fought for the sake of having establishing you as the king. So now already Yudhishthira had just been established as the king. So Vyasadev's prophecy was quite peculiar and alarming. So at that time Yudhishthira took a vow that war is caused by conflict, and conflict is caused when there is difference of opinion and there is disobedience based on there is disobedience or disagreement coming from that difference of opinion. So he said that he would always obey his elders. Now when Vyasadeva spoke about the conflict which would come up, the most probable cause of conflict was between the Kauravas and the Pandavas. The Kauravas had themselves earlier tried in various ways to do away with the Pandavas. So Yudhishthira decided that he would obey his elders, and by that obedience to elders, he hoped that he could avoid conflicts. And he expected that his elders would act in just ways. So if he acted for his own interests, then it would appear as if he was promoting himself. But if he obeyed his elders and his elders protected his interests, then the conflict would be minimized. Now soon after this, after Yudhishthira had taken this, he would obey his elders. Then Duryodhana went back, burning with envy, seeing the prosperity of Yudhishthir, and then Shakuni suggested the idea of gambling to seize away the wealth of the Pandavas, and both of them emotionally manipulated Dhritarashtra, who then sent Vidura to invite Yudhishthir for a gambling match. So now when Yudhishthir got the invitation, his first question was, gambling causes conflict. If we gamble, we'll fight. He said he did not at all want to go for the gambling match, but because Dhritarashtra had wanted that, and Dhritarashtra was like a father figure for him now. He was his uncle, and in the absence of his father, Dhritarashtra was like his father. So he normally would not have wanted to disobey his uncle, who was like his father. And in this particular situation, because he had taken a vow, he also further was obliged to obey Dhritarashtra's command and go with Vidura. And when they entered into the gambling assembly, at that time, the first thing that Yudhishthira asked, "Oh Duryodhana, why do you want to steal away the wealth that I have acquired for the service of the Brahmanas?" So Yudhishthira thought this wealth as not meant for himself, but for serving the Brahmanas, and through the service of the Brahmanas, for serving the human society at large, because the Brahmanas are meant to work for the well-being of the broader society. So he saw himself as a trustee of the wealth, and the wealth is meant for his subjects. So Dhritarashtra remained silent, and Duryodhana said, "Oh, if you are afraid, then we will not play." So now Duryodhana very cunningly avoided Yudhishthira's objection and turned it into a slur on Yudhishthira's Kshatriya virility, on his courage. And because it became a challenge at that time, Yudhishthira could not refuse. So Yudhishthira, because he had no desire to gamble at that particular time, as Yudhishthira did have did have some. He had already obliged himself to follow the elders, and Dhritarashtra was his father figure, and further he was challenged at a time when he could not refuse, and that's why against his will he was constrained to gamble. Thank you. Hare Krishna.